While I was away on business, I got a call my husband had crashed. At the hospital, a nurse whispered, "You can't go in. His wife and child are already with him." I walked away. The next morning, he woke up and lost everything. The nurse said it quietly, almost apologetically, like she was breaking news to a stranger at a bus stop. Her husband and child are already with her. I stood in the hallway of Mount Sinai's trauma wing at 9:47 p.m., still in the suit I'd had on for 16 hours, and I thought, no, that's impossible, just, because some small, cold corner of my brain, the one I'd spent 7 years papering over with shared mortgages and monthly dinners with her parents, had been waiting for exactly this. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I said, "Thank you," turned around, walked to the fire stairwell, and lit a cigarette I hadn't smoked since 2019. Then I called a private investigator. Let me tell you who I was before that Tuesday. Adrian Cole, senior partner at a boutique firm handling high-net-worth divorce litigation. When billionaires' marriages imploded, I was the man one of them called to make sure the other walked away with as little as legally possible. I was good at it, not because I was ruthless, but because I understood, bone deep, how people hide things, the paper trails they bury, the small surgical lies that accumulate into an architecture of deceit, so intricate the person living inside it forgets it's even there. My wife, Vanessa, 38, co-founder of a health logistics company, was very good at being exactly what you needed her to be in the room you were standing in. That was, I'd come to understand, her actual skill, not the software, the performance. I'd been in Chicago for a deposition when the call came. Critical condition. I flew back feeling absolutely nothing. Shock does that. Cleans you out, leaves you operational. At the trauma entrance, a nurse stepped into my path, clipboard pressed to her chest, eyes scanning my suit, my face. "I'm here for Vanessa Cole," I said. "I'm her husband." Her expression went careful, the way a doctor's face goes careful when deciding how much you can handle. "That's strange," she said. "Why?" Half a second. I'd spent my career reading half seconds in deposition rooms. Because her husband and son are already inside with her. I want to describe precisely what I saw through the glass of Trauma Bay 4, because I've replayed it 10,000 times, and the details have only sharpened. Vanessa in the bed, head wrapped in gauze. Beside her, a man, mid-20s, hand resting on the rail with the casual ownership of someone who touched that hand 1,000 times. Pressed against his side, a boy, 3 years old, dark curls, Vanessa's exact chin, whispering something I could read through the glass. "Mama." Then the detail that quietly destroyed something permanent in my chest. Vanessa's parents, on the far side of the bed, her mother rubbing slow circles on the young man's back. The gesture you use for someone you've comforted before, not a stranger. 7 years of monthly dinners, joint taxes, choosing paint colors. 7 years of her father shaking my hand with both of his, saying, "You take good care of her, Adrian." They were all in that room, and I was outside it. I released the door handle. I hadn't realized I'd been gripping it. I turned and walked back the way I came. The stairwell had a burned-out sensor, just a green exit sign. I sat on the second step and called Frank DeLuca, ex-NYPD, financial crimes, the best investigator I'd ever worked with. "I need a full workup on a man and child in Trauma Bay 4, I said. "Name, address, financials, timeline, and a biological sample from the boy. Rushed DNA results by midnight tomorrow." He heard what was under the words. "Copy. Anything on Vanessa herself? If she wakes tonight, keep eyes on who comes and goes. Don't let anyone see you." The thing about being a good divorce attorney is that when someone blindsides you, you don't react. You document, you gather, you build. Because the moment you reveal what you know, you lose the advantage. Vanessa had made a catastrophic miscalculation. She'd forgotten what I did for a living. Frank's file came in at 7:22 a.m., and the boy's date of birth stopped me cold. Click here to watch part 2 of the story.